guys, how are you all? I hope everyone is fine and safe. Today we'll be starting with a new subject, that is financial management, which will be useful for CA Inter, CA IPCC. See how we will penetrate into the subject. First, what we will do is we'll be dividing this into 12 chapters. These all 12 chapters are the practical part of it. Okay, and theory will be studying separately. Okay, now let's see what exactly the financial management is. What is the definition of financial management? So before jumping into the definition of financial management, I want to explain the crux behind it. If I explain these things, these all things, then you will know at the end we will see the definition and relate to it. Okay, when you want to start up a business on a big scale, then what you do? What you want to cater all the money. If it's a very big thing, you cannot cater from partners or something, right? You need to cater it from more people. We'll be promoting our idea, we'll be the promoters, and we will invest a little amount from our side, and we'll ask other people to put in the amount in our business. Okay, so for that, what we have to do, we have to chalk out what funds we require. Okay, what is the funds we require, what all we require to start up a business. For suppose I'm starting a business, automobile business. So in that business, what I'll be doing, I'll be checking out what all things are required for me, the building wherein I'll be manufacturing the things, the manufacturing units. Okay, and that all belongs to that fixed asset. Okay, so what I will be thinking, Arey, I have to invest, I need the amount for the building is so much, and for the fixed asset which is required in the process of manufacturing so much. Okay, and I also need a working capital for the building, the construction of the building, the procurement of the machinery, and all constitute like 80 crores. Okay, so this is like require 80 crores to establish my fixed asset, the base of the business. Okay, now again I'll be like thinking, okay fine, I have established this thing, but I need a raw material in it. I need some processing of the things to be done to start the production. Then I think that the basic production cost, the working capital, the material cost, that I have to put in all the amount, and cater some amount so that I start the production. To start the production, I require 20 crores for suppose. Okay, see, if I don't take this thing into consideration, it means that 80 crores I am just putting idle, keeping buying the fixed asset and putting it idle. So what we have to do, we have to also keep aside the amount for the working capital too. Okay, so that the production starts and our business starts. So overall what amount I require, that is 100 crores, right? So I'll see that, okay, I require 100 crores to start up a business. So from now I got the idea that my business requires so and so amount. All the calculations is done, and production cost, everything is taken up. Now I think that, okay fine, is 100 crore available in my pocket? No. So what I'll do, I'll start collecting the amount from this 100 crores from some sources. What are that sources of funds? Means I have to cater this 100 crores from other sources of the funds. What can that be? That is shareholders fund, and retain earnings. If it's like continued business, this will come into the picture. Okay, expansion of the business, then this part will come. Okay, and debt funds. Now let's see, if I need 100 crore, what I do, I'll take up from the shareholders fund. Shareholders funds require, like, what it is. Shareholders means there are equity shareholders and preference shareholders. Okay, so I'll like plan, okay fine, I have 100 crores, I'll be taking from shareholders fund. That is nothing but from equity. I'll be raising the equity shares, and I'll be raising the preference shares so that I get this amount. Okay, but you will not fully take up from these things. Okay, there are so many other factors you need to check it. We'll see in further class. So we'll be like deciding, okay fine, I have these many options. From these options I have to raise up 100 crores. So what you do, you will take some from equity, some from preference. Imagine like you're taking it like 80 crores from here. Okay. And debt funds are there. Debt funds are nothing but the debentures and the long term funds. Debentures is what? Debentures are nothing but the shares of the loan that you are issuing, the bonds that you are issuing to collect some of the loan. Okay, so that you will be issuing the debentures, and again you'll be like you'll be asking for the long term funds. It's nothing but the bank loans you are taking. There are numerous loans that you are taking to start up a business. Okay, so for suppose it is 20 crore. Okay, now what happens? You got all this amount, you'll cater all the amount and put into the business. Then after getting that 100 crore, you need to allocate how to apply those funds to the fixed asset and the working capital. In the fixed asset also, like how shall I allocate that amount to each of the fixed asset, to like there are multiple assets. Okay, so you cannot invest completely on the building, right? You cannot invest completely on the machinery, right? You require all the other small ancillary assets too. So you will plan accordingly. So this is the basic crux of it. This is the base of it, like how you will get the sources and how you will be applying the funds to it. Okay, now what happens, like on this thing, suppose we have started our production. Okay, we have started our production and we got we have sold the things. So sales amount will be taking out, will be deducting operating, all the operating costs. Operating cost is nothing but all the manufacturing cost, manufacturing cost, all the admin related cost, all the selling cost, and everything includes in it. So what you'll be doing, you'll be removing it from the sales and you'll be getting operating profit. This operating profit is nothing but EBIT. EBIT is nothing but earning before interest and tax. From this thing you'll be taking out interest and tax. We'll be seeing in future chapters that how you will be calculating this, what is EBIT. Till now you might have just heard about like the profit and loss account and all, right? So basically, if you are entering into an industry, big industry with companies, this all financial management aspect will be applicable to the companies basically. So in those big companies, this financial management is something which starts after the balance sheet. It's not the complete accounting process. It is like after accounting process. You will be analyzing the things and working towards it. Okay, the analysis of your financial statements. Okay, so now the basic thing that why we will be calculating this operating profit is to know the return on investment. ROI is nothing but return on investment. It means that I am investing 100 crores. What is the return that I'm getting from that 100 crores? Okay, so it's nothing but the profit that which we are getting divided by the capital employed. Capital employed will be from any of these things like equity, preference, loan funds, debentures, whatever it is. So all the capital employees together will be added here into 100. Now after we have the funds, we have many financial decisions to be taken. Okay, so what are those decisions that will be deciding our well-being of the organization? There are financial decisions, investment decisions, and dividend decisions. What happens in financial decisions, will be thinking like how shall I be arranging that finance? I require so much. How shall I be arranging? Okay, even though like I got the sources that equity, preference, dividend, debt funds I got. Okay, then I have to be seeing that of how much amount of equity, how much proportion of equity shall I be raising, how much proportion of preference share like I have to be raising, or how much I have to be taking debt. You cannot take the whole amount as a debt. 100 crores you cannot raise from the debt, right? And directly 100 crores from the equity you cannot raise. So you need to make a balance. You need to strike a balance between all these funds from where we are taking. That is called as a financial financing decisions. Okay, so you need to be taking a proper proportion, and all those decided by the other factors that are risk control factors. So we'll be seeing in further lecture. We have two challenges in front of us. We have to see that we have to collect some amount. If we are collecting some amount, where we have to be taking from, and where we, in what proportion you need to be taking it. Okay, and next is investment decision. Now what happens in the financial decision? You got the amount. Okay, you have the amount, that 100 crore amount in your hand. Now what you think that, okay fine, I got so much amount, how and where I shall be investing? You cannot completely invest in working capital, or you cannot completely invest in the fixed asset, right? So if you completely invest in plant property equipment, that is nothing but fixed asset, then you cannot start your production, you cannot earn the thing. Okay, again you require more finance, you just blindly cannot put in the fixed asset completely. So what you will be doing, that you'll be, you will be checking out like what amount I have to be investing in fixed asset, what amount I have to be investing in working capital, what is the balance between them. Okay, now you got a, you got an idea like how much amount I have to be investing in each of the thing, but you need to strike a balance, and you need to be, check in what proportion you need to be allocating in the multiple assets. You have furnitures and fixtures, you have manufacturing units, you have the land, you have the building, you have so many things that you need to set up. Okay, now you have to strike a balance between that. You cannot take a high price land and you just ignore the machinery quality. You cannot just take the machinery thing and you don't have the place to manufacture. You cannot do that, so you need to strike a balance between it. So this is the investment decision that we have in front of us, the challenge we have in front of us, with what we have to do accordingly. Okay, now there are dividend decisions come into the picture only after, one organization is already started. Okay, so dividend decisions is like you got an, you got a profit. Okay, after giving it to all the lenders, and then, everyone, the other thing is that you need to be distributing the dividend. Okay, so what happens, we have two challenges in it. We will be thinking that what is the amount that we have to be declare it as a dividend. Okay, shall we declare the whole amount as a dividend, or shall we retain some amount, or shall we, the whole dividend amount, shall we use it for further investments, great interest, I mean great return on it. So it all depends, we have to postpone the dividend, we have to strike a balance between it. Suppose the dividend we are giving is very, we are not giving the dividend to the shareholders, they will not be happy and they will start removing their shares from our company, right? Okay, they'll not be satisfied, then share value will get down. Okay, what if like we are planning to give the dividends, but what happens, sometimes it happens so that there are so many good investment opportunities that now you invest, you get a good return over it. Okay, so if you invest there, you'll be getting maximum return, but if you invest, if you give the dividends, you'll not be getting any return, but shareholder satisfaction is there with you. So you need to strike a balance between it, what decision should be taken, whether to distribute or whether to retain, whether to postpone the dividend. It all depends on, many other factors which we will be checking in this thing. Now you got an idea that why financial management is a very important aspect, because there are many managerial decisions that we need to take, so that you retain your position in the market as well as you earn well. Now let's see that how the financial decisions are taken. Okay, I just said you previously that financial decision will be taken, and from where we have to, cater the finance, is equity or preference or debt, from where shall we, raising the finance, and what are the factors that will be based on it, that will be raising the finance. Now let's check that. The factors are the cost, risk and control. The cost, let's see like what is the cost in raising the equity, preference and debt. Okay, what is the best option? So raising a debt will, will be having a low cost. Why? Because whenever you'll be paying the interest on the debt, that interest will be all, basically that interest will be low, is lower than other two. Next is that the next part is that the interest will be deducted before tax. So herein you will not be, paying the tax to pay this interest. Okay, so that's why the cost of the debt is very low. The preference is a medium one, because they have expectations for the dividend. That too depends on, company's well-being, profit or loss, it depends. Okay, and equity, the cost is high because it depends on the expectation of the market. If the market is going very well, if the market is selling very well, then the expectations of shareholders will be high. It means that obviously it will be higher than debt cost. Why means, suppose the market is very well, if the market is bullish, they have so many options to invest in many other companies. Why would they invest in our company? How can you lure the people to get into our this thing? it means that their expectation interest rate will be very high, and you need to get on the expectations. Dividend shall be given accordingly. If you see from the cost point of view, this debt gets the first rank. Next rank is for the preference shareholders, and next is because the dividend in preference, basically it depends on what type of dividend preference shares you're taking. The dividend will be fixed, okay, but this dividend will be after tax. The tax deduction gets on with this dividend, okay. That's why we are saying that the cost is very high, I mean medium cost, and here also will be giving the dividend after tax, after deduction of tax. So what happens, even this expectations of the shareholders depend on the market, okay, what market is saying. If the market is bullish, if it's going up, it's doing well off, then this will be like their expectations will be high. If the market is going bearish, the expectations will get low. So whenever there is recession in the economy, it's better to raise an equity than the debt, where you have to raise the funds. It depends on the market also. Okay, so this is about the cost. Okay, the rank is for third year. Okay, the first preference will be given to debt, next to preference, and then to equity. Okay, based on the cost. Now if we see based on the risk is the risk which equity has is low, preference is medium, and debt is high. Why high risk? Whatever be the condition of your company, whether it's going well, it's going down, you need to pay fixed amount of interest. Okay, if you have money in your pocket or not, but you have to pay this fixed amount of interest. So that's why the debt risk in the debt is very high. Okay, now medium risk preference, it depends, there will be an agreement between the shareholders and the company. You have to pay the dividend. Okay, if you pay the dividend, well and good. If you don't have the dividend, it will accumulate. It depends on what type of preference shares you're taking and all. So there's a medium risk in it. Now equity, see, low risk. Why we are saying we have a low risk? Because if the company is doing well, they'll ask the dividend if profit is there. Okay, if the company is in losses, you might not be giving the dividend. Okay, so that's the reason that we are saying it's less risky. Okay, so accordingly, if we rank here, this should get the first rank, this should get the second rank, this should get the third rank. Okay, if you're thinking from a risk point of view. Okay, now let's see from the point of view of the control in equity shares is very high, because they can take decisions, because they have the ability to vote and all. They can influence decisions of the organization. And preference shares, they cannot do that control unless and until they have some criteria that if you don't give the dividend for more than 2 years, then you will get the control. Now debt, for the debt there is no need for the control. They just need to invest the amount, they'll be getting the interest, that's it. They don't have the control over the decisions in the management and all, decisions in the company at all. Okay, so which one is best, which one is better, which should be ranked first? It is this: the debt should be ranked first, the preference shares should be ranked second, and the equity should be ranked third. Why? Because if you dilute the control, there will be like many people in the decision making part. Okay, so that will influence companies working. So it's better that you have a debt and you just give off, and no control, you just pay the interest, and that's it. Okay, so while considering the financial decisions, while making the financial decisions from where we have to collect the sources of the fund, we need to check these three factors, so we can move further. We can make the best decision out of it. Seeing all that things, the financial decisions, the investment decisions, and everything. Now what, let's go into the definition. Okay, now we are actually through the definition. Objectives of the financial management. What are the objectives of the financial management? Basically, the finance manager thinks from two point of view: primary objective and a secondary objective. What is the first basic objective of this, all these financial management? It is that maximization of the wealth. That is nothing but MPS, market price per share. Okay, so what happens here the basic short-term investors will be thinking, I have to get the earnings and that's it. No, but your primary, the main objective should be the well-being of your organization. The going concern of your organization depends on maximization of wealth more than earning its wealth. Okay, next is this is the long-term objective and a goal, that is maximization of the wealth, and you have to be striking a balance between the risk and the return trade-off. Okay, whenever the risk is high, the returns will also be high. When the risks are low, the returns will also be low. Okay, so based on that, if you cannot just be very prudent enough, you cannot play safe in the market also, like you will be like taking a less risk and you'll be getting a less return, and that's it. No, so at some point of time you need to grow your organization, you need to be thinking about long term perspective, and take risk and you will get a higher returns. Okay, you need to strike a balance between risk and return always. That is the primary objective of studying the financial management. Next is that the secondary objective. What is the secondary objective? Obviously anyone, any person starts an organization to earn the money, to earn the profit. That is nothing but maximization of the earning. That is what earning per share. Okay, that is very short term objective. The earnings will increase when you accept high risk, you will be earning high profits. Okay, so that is the basic objective what you see. But you need to strike a balance between these two objectives. You need to always focus on your long term goals, focus on the wealth maximization rather than earnings. But at the same time, you don't have to be forgetting the earnings. You have to be focused on your earnings every year, so that will indirectly affect the maximization of the wealth. Now, let's go to the topic of economic value added. Economic value added, with the name itself, you can see that value added. Economic means the monetary term, and the value added is the additional benefit, right? So, it's nothing but the super profit. See, in the market there are so many people who are doing the same business which I am doing. Okay, so what happens, every person have their own goodwill, so that goodwill itself is nothing but the super profit. Because of that goodwill, those people will earn the super profit, the additional profit from what actually the market is providing you. Okay, so what we will be doing, how we will be calculating the economic value added, we will be taking out what actually, like I am selling some product and I am receiving the return on investment, some percentage. Okay, so my cost of capital is less and return of investment is more. That means I am earning additional profit over and above than the other person in the market is earning, right? So the main important thing that you need to be focusing here is that return on investment or the cost of capital should always be taken after tax. Okay, now what is return on investment? I already said that you'll be calculating over like operating profit divided by the capital employed into 100, right? This is the return on investment. Okay, okay, what is cost of capital? Cost of capital includes the debt cost, the equity cost, the preference share cost. Costs are nothing but the debt cost is interest, equity, and this thing preference shares is dividend. That should be taken after tax, and we can get the economic value added, the additional profit above, over and above the others in the market. Okay, now let's see the cases wherein the EVA decides either we have a goodwill, or do we have a goodwill, or we have a bad goodwill. Okay, now let's see EVA. In the case one, see, if I already said you, we are getting a good profit, return on investment more than the cost of our capital, what we are actually paying. If it is more, then there is a positive EVA. Positive EVA is nothing but the goodwill is positive. When the goodwill is positive, your name in the market is high, very good, and your MPS, the market price per share, will be more. Okay, next, case 2, return on investment is equal to the cost of capital. When we are getting the same thing, imagine that we are earning 15% and your cost of capital, what you're paying, is also 15%. It means that there is zero EVA, you are in balance in the market, and you'll be having a normal EPS, and it will not attract much shareholders to invest. Third case is that return on investment is 15%, but your cost of capital is going off to 17%. It means that something is wrong. that is a negative EVA, you don't have a goodwill in the market, and your EMPS is very low. We'll be doing all the practical problems in the next video probably. Okay, so this was it. Like, this is the basic thing, why financial management is used, for what purpose the financial management is there, why we shouldn't be stopping just to the financial statements. It is beyond financial statement. We are analyzing our financial statement, how all the things are working, and how we need to be investing, how we need to be striking a balance between each of the thing, how we can earn more. Okay, if we don't put up this analysis, then our share prices in the market will seriously or severely affect. Now let's watch the definition. What I said will not start from the definition and try to make the things complicated. Now what happened, we know why financial management is used, what is the objective of the financial management and all. Now let's see what actually the definition. Financial management refers to that managerial activity which is concerned with the arrangement of funds from various sources with consideration of cost, control and risk involved with such sources, and application of these funds in an effective manner to maximize shareholders earning and wealth. Okay, financial management refers to what, a managerial activity, okay, which is concerned with what, arrangement of the funds. Okay, what arrangement of the funds from where, from various sources of funds. How it will be considered, depending on, we have seen here, depending on the cost risk control analysis, right? Cost risk control involved with what, application of the funds. Okay, application of funds in what manner, in such a manner that, like, we are maximizing the shareholders wealth and the earnings of our organization. Okay, that was all regarding the basic of the financial management and what financial management definition pertains to. Okay, now next video we'll be seeing about EPS and EBIT. Till then, take care, bye bye, have a nice day.